Hey, good morning all. This was intended to be the year in review Q&A session for the Success Mindset series. Sadly, I'm sitting here on my own. I with 30 people sign up and no one has appeared for it. I'm not sure if it's been Christmas parties last night, whether people have broken up for Christmas, or frankly, whether they've bored you into submission over the course of the year. But really, it has been a feature that for each of these talks we've had between 30 and 60 people turning up, 30 and 60 people signing up, but between 0 and 10 actually turning up. So if there's anything I could do to make them more appealing, make them more interesting, please let me know, whether it's content, whether it's some sort of incentive for coming along, whether you're just not interested, whether you're an aficionado of the recording, just let me know. So I want to plan next year to be better and really sort of deliver on what's on people's minds. In any event, I will run through what we were going to talk about on this call, because all of it was just Q&A and discussion of what had worked and what hadn't. So I'll share it. There are a couple of questions at the end. And if you'd like to respond anyway, just drop me a message on LinkedIn, send me an email with your thoughts, because I really want to tailor this program and the work that I do to what's on people's minds and help them get the success that they want. So diving into it, it's the Success Mindset series. For those of you that haven't been on before, it's all about creating ways of thinking and acting that maximize your chances of success. Because all top performers run internal mental programs geared towards success, but they've learned those. They're not instinctive, they're things that they've picked up either consciously or unconsciously. At the same time, other people have limiting beliefs, negative patterns, negative programs that have been holding them back. And I do a lot of work helping people overcome those patterns. And that's really what this series was geared around, helping people overcome their limiting beliefs, their practices, their patterns, and develop the habits that high performers have, based primarily on hypnotherapy and NLP, but also a lot of just the experiences and tips and tricks that I've learned over many years in industry. This session is the year-end discussion and Q&A. What did we cover in this series? Well, over the year, we covered how your mind works. We covered a number of sessions, like 2 or 3 sessions on motivation and goal setting. We talked about how you can build and maintain relationships and rapport even with people you don't know, even with people you don't like, even people you've never met before. We talked about effective communication. I talked about active listening and how you can use words and language to overcome resistance. We did an introduction to hypnosis to get rid of limiting beliefs, where we did hold a live hypno session for the people that were there. And in the most recent one, we did some work around overcoming fear of public speaking, as that's one of the main things that seems to hold executives back. Interestingly, fear of public speaking was the #1 fear that people have. #2 being death, which means that at a funeral, people would rather be in the box than giving the speech at the funeral, which is an interesting way of looking at it. So that's what we covered in the Success Mindset series. We covered a whole lot more in my newsletter series, the unconscious aspects of success, which you're very welcome to subscribe to on LinkedIn. But things to think about, things to talk about that we're going to use to get the discussion going. And please do come back to me with your thoughts on these, say in Messenger, in LinkedIn, or by email. First of all, what challenges did you face in 2024? What might have held you back from getting the success you know you deserve, the success you want? Were any limiting beliefs apparent? Do you have anxiety? Did you feel you didn't belong in the group you were in? Did you have imposter syndrome? Any negative patterns that you had? Was there anything that occurred multiple times in different scenarios that, whether you were conscious of it or not, you realized was a pattern in your life and it was holding you back? And anything else that you feel just was a challenge for you in 2024? I know I was speaking to someone the other day who found dealing with difficult people and stakeholder management to be a real challenge that they felt held them back because nerves just get the better of them, particularly if the stakeholder they were talking to was quite aggressive. Also, tell me what successes did you have in 2024? What went well? What worked in helping you achieve those successes? Was there anything you did, whether it was a mindset activity, whether it was you know, a repeated statement that you made every morning to yourself, whether it was goals you'd written down? And how did you stay motivated? Because success very rarely comes in small steps. It's usually staying motivated and delivering over a while. And finally, what do you want to or need to work on in 2025? What are your goals for the next year? What are your longer term goals? And are your goals for next year aligned with the longer term goals? Because if not, you're probably on the wrong path for the destination you want to get to. And finally, what will you do to get there? What is your plan for the year to achieve those goals? So that's just a limited number of questions and thoughts I'm going to use to prompt the discussion. Anything else, any observations, questions you have, just get back to me. I'd love to hear from you because I really do want to make this series and the newsletters deliver value that really drive to the concerns that you have. And finally, if you want to have a chat, book a session to see if I can help you, I just follow the link here, give me a call or email me on donald@donaldhamiltoncoaching.com. Thanks to everyone who's turned up over the year. Thanks to everyone who signed up. Whether you turned up or not, I hope to actually see you in 2025. But wishing you all a great Christmas and a wonderful new year, and I'll see you in 2025. Cheers.